Hello, amazing ladies in business. Welcome to the HerStory podcast. I'm your host, Kylie King, the founder of Australian Ladies Business Initiative. And I am so excited today to be joined by the incredible Chantal Gerardy, who not only has one business, but two businesses, the online business marketing and the OBMHub. Thank you so much for joining me today.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
So, what would you like to tell the listeners? What would you like them to know a little bit about you and what you do?
Well, firstly, you'll hear from my very mixed accent that I am originally from South Africa, hence the very mixed accent. So I moved from South Africa in 2008 to Australia. Now, in South Africa, everyone knew who I was. I grew up, you've got your mum, your dad, your aunties, uncles, you go to school. So when you start a business, it's kind of easy, right? Because you've got all your friends and referrals and, it's just really easy. And actually in 2008, online marketing wasn't really a thing anyway. And then my husband at the time got an opportunity to move to Australia, and we jumped at the opportunity. I had, at that time, my three daughters were all under the age of 5 years old. So my identical twin girls were 4 years old, and my baby, she was 1 year old. New country, no maids, because in South Africa, we've got maids and nannies and whatever else. Here in Australia, none of that. So no family support, didn't know anybody, no financial support. We sold out absolutely everything, came here and started from scratch with absolutely nothing. And then within the first 4 years, my husband was actually made redundant twice. And when that happened, it was an incredibly stressful time, just not being able to sort of find your people, find your vibe, trying to work out what you're going to do. Because I couldn't work, right? You can't work. You've got 3 kids at home and you've got no Centrelink or welfare. You're paying your way into the country. You can't leave the kids with anywhere. You can't get a job. What do you actually do? And that's when I started to play online and worked out that I could get online and I could find my people and I could get the support that I needed and I could build relationships with like-minded people and I could grow a business. And that's really how I started. And one of the most important things that actually happened during that time, with a lot of us being women in business, is that I'd go to these play groups and you'd find people at play groups and they'd sit indoors and they just complain about their babies and their husbands and everyone. And I was like, I cannot do this shit. I got to get out of here. This is terrible. I cannot talk about the consistency of my child's nappy one more time. I'm just done. And I just went, I'm just going to get a bunch of people who want to do play groups, get outside, meet, connect, and just form their own sort of community where we could support each other. And we did. And that way we'd actually all have the kids on one day and one person would go to work and then you'd have all the kids and another person would go to work and you'd have all the kids. And it was really, really a great way. And it's really a good thing that happened when I was first able to, when I moved to Australia, and be able to sort of find my people and survive really as a parent.
Wow, that sounds like such a good workaround too, to do that, to have them all looked after, and then you all know they're nice and safe and they're all still playing and connecting and building little friendships, which is incredible.
Yeah, they're actually all friends still today, which is absolutely amazing. And yeah, it's just been an absolutely amazing thing. And a lot of them were immigrants. A lot of them were immigrants who didn't have any family here, who needed support, which was really great. But what it allowed me to do was just to be able to have that time where I could figure out online, because I had no tech experience. I had no marketing experience. I was a personal trainer by trade. I had been for 25 years. So for me to be online, completely not my jam at all. For me, even now when I go, I'm a marketer and I'm online, I'm like, what does that even mean? Because I'm not that way inclined at all. But for me, it was around, I needed to be able to provide for my family. I needed to make a business work. And I also couldn't afford to be online all day, every day. Because with twin 4-year-olds and a 1-year-old running around and no help, whatever I did online had to work and it had to make money, because it was a difficult thing, right? So difficult. So having that community allowed me to be able to do that, which I'm so incredibly grateful for.
Beautiful. And so that's pretty much how online business marketing got started. And then what?
No, it didn't. It didn't.
No?
That is it. That was just the very crunch of it. In the real beginning, that was actually how my personal training business started. I was like, I'm going to form a personal training business. I'm going to find mothers who want to come together with their babies. I'm going to find something that people could do I had to find work that I could do around my children because I had no one else to support me. And I was like, there's all these personal training studios, there's all these other Gold Coast businesses, like no one even knows who I am. And that's where I really realized that when you tell your story and you start to share your values and you do that authentically online, you'll find your people. And then there are clients for you. There are clients out there. There are clients that don't want to go to gyms and clients that don't want to go there. And there are clients that want to join you and want to connect with you and become part of your tribe. So I built that personal training business in the first 5 years and ended up opening up a health, wellness, and fitness center on the Gold Coast. And then that became a six-figure business within another 5 years. Now, the problem that I had was that I opened up this health, wellness, and fitness center. I thought I'll have all these people here because weather was an issue, right? Training out in the parks with kids, and you've got, if the weather's bad, you've got no income, nothing's coming in, what do you do, right? So I was like, if we have a facility, at least it'll be better. But the problem is that in my facility, I had all these visions of having all these other subcontractors in there from the health, wellness, and fitness space. And I thought, we'll all refer clients to each other and we'll all live happily ever after, right? It'll all pay the rent and all be great. But every week that came by, they couldn't pay the rent. They couldn't pay like their contribution because they were struggling. And I went, this is insane. And they were going like, Chantal, how did you do that? Like, how did in 5 years you were able to do this? And I went, okay, well, look, I'll start to have these meetups and I'll have these little meetups at the center. And what we'll do is I'll start to teach people everything that I'd learned about going onto Facebook and without paying for ads and how do you generate clients and not just post content, but actually get clients. Like, how do you actually do that? And we started with like 5 people coming, like once a month, and we ended up having like 30 people coming every single week. And it became insane. And it was not just people in the health, wellness, and fitness industry. It wasn't just people on the Gold Coast. People were like, can you do this online? Like, we're stuck because we don't want to employ a marketing agency, but we understand the value of using social media, but we also just don't want to spend our life online. So there's no one really that can consult with us and actually show us how to do that, like the practical elements of it, and we don't want to outsource to VAs and we don't want to outsource our voice. We just want to know how to do this and do it well. And that's really how it happened. And I ended up juggling these 2 businesses for about, I think about another 5 years. I've done them all in these 5-year stints and juggled both businesses, and they became too much for me. And then I was like, you know what, I need to go full time into this. I kind of was done with the 4:30 a.m. personal training starting time and the 8:30 p.m. finishing. And then during the day, I was doing all the marketing consultancy. And I realized that there was a real need for somebody to actually work as an in-house marketing consultant and be able to support business owners with income-producing ways that they can manage their marketing, their email marketing, their social media marketing. How do they come up with content campaigns? And it's not one size fits all. It's different for everyone. So people were like, well, can you just show me how? And that's how it started, literally fell in.
Oh, well, that's awesome. That's awesome. And it just led on from each other. Yeah. So, which is fantastic. So then that's online business marketing. And then the OBMHub, that's pretty new, I believe.
Yeah, so new. So the thing that we've had sort of in the last, actually since COVID, we had a lot of people going offshore with their virtual assistants, and they'd go offshore with their virtual assistants. And this big problem that we started to have when we're training the in-house marketing managers, the virtual assistants, and the business owners, where they were like, well, we've got to give them login details. They've got to be able to log into Facebook and manage our accounts. They've got to be able to, and I mean, you'll know this when you want to go into groups and that, like it's very hard as an administrator of a business page because a lot of groups only let people in. So it was a case of you've got to get 2-factor authenticators, that you've got to get into Instagram and Facebook. And it became a nightmare for everyone. And they're like, how do we manage then like all the leads coming in through Facebook Messenger and then through LinkedIn, and we've got to give them access to everything. So there's so many links, there's so many passwords. And the other issue that we had as a training company was that you might be using MailChimp, you might be using ActiveCampaign, you might be using Klaviyo, you might be using MailerLite. Everyone's using different systems. So I'm trying to train everyone in all these different systems. And I went, you know what? There has to be an easier way. Like, we're paying for all these different systems. We are having to have all these different logins, all these different passwords. virtual assistants are having to learn all these different platforms. What if we just had one platform and you could log into one platform? They charge in AU dollars, so you don't have fluctuating US dollars and you can write it off. And they can just go into one place and manage it. You can go into one place, they can go into one place, learn one system and just manage it. And it's one Australian price. And I tried a whole bunch of different systems. And then in January this year, I actually drove away for a weekend in my camper van, went to a waterhole, and I sat and I played with the system. And I was like, I've got to prove the system wrong. And I was like, nah, the system's too good. And I ended up moving my entire business across to it, and then started slowly not encouraging, but asking business owners if they wanted to move across. And they were like, yep, it's saving me so much. And then we started moving them across as well. So social media marketing platform, it does, it just does everything. Email marketing, funnels, website builder, everything. One platform, one price. It was a no-brainer for us, no-brainer at all. And to keep it real simple, because it's online business marketing, so I just went OBMHub. And I just kept it really simple. And a hub's just one place. And my personal training studio was called the Fit Hub. And I love Hub. I love community. And I thought that's a great name.
Beautiful. That's awesome. And who doesn't want just one system where everything can just be done in the one system?
So good. Absolutely so good. It's been an absolute no-brainer for business owners, especially with the virtual assistants and them being offshore and being, getting flagged for trying to log into different profiles, and that it just makes it so incredibly difficult. So, and for us, because online business marketing is a consulting company, and then OBMHub is the software company. So we can also obviously refer to each other. But with online business marketing and having to train the virtual assistants on how to actually manage the marketing and implement the marketing strategies of managing a Facebook group, for example, as a lead generator, or, a content plan, or running a webinar funnel. Like, these are all strategies that you can use on social media to generate more customers. But you have to have software or something that's going to be able to deliver that. And we want as little as possible. We want to keep it as simple as possible, so you don't end up having this band-aided Frankenstein monster of software, which we all hate. Because, as I said, I'm non-techie. I hate this shit. That's the part I don't like at all. I just want my stuff to work and easily.
Mm. And that's why having one system is good, because, when you have to band-aid different systems together, it never works out really well. So that's fantastic. So what would you say, with all your experience in different industries as a business owner, what would you say so far has been your biggest challenge?
Oh, the biggest challenge is, I think, as a business owner, is we constantly have to stay motivated and inspired, but we've also got to get really comfortable with getting uncomfortable. Because how many times in your business have you got uncomfortable? Like, I knew, at the end of last year that I was so stressed with all the amounts of platforms that I had to learn. And then I was almost self-sabotaging, or imposter syndrome set in, because I was like, why am I investigating software? I hate software. I hate techie stuff. I know nothing about it. I don't want to manage it. So imposter syndrome comes in or whatever. And then I was like, ah. And then I went, you know what? I'm just going to explore it. I'm just going to put myself outside of my comfort zone. I'm going to explore it. I'm just going to see where we go with it. I'm going to learn one thing, and then I'm just going to learn another thing, and then I'm just going to learn another thing, and I'm not going to get overwhelmed, and I'm just going to face everything and rise rather than fear everything and run. And I think as business owners, I think we just got to check ourselves sometimes, because we are more than capable than what we believe we are. Because now when I tell myself, I have a software company, I'm like, what? But all I did was hire an operations manager. All I found was somebody who's an expert in that field, and I was able to hire them. And all I did was I set this little challenge of every day, because I was training for a bicycle ride across Thailand to raise money for the children that were affected by the tsunami. And I had to do 100 kilometers a day for 5 days. And I was like, when I'm on the bike, all I'm going to do is I'm going to watch YouTube videos and learn the software. That's all I'm going to do, right? It's not that hard. So I think, greatest challenge is getting comfortable with uncomfortable, checking yourself for imposter syndrome and procrastination, and making sure that you just keep affirming the whole time, patting yourself on the back and go, we're more capable than we would ever believe.
And just from your experience with being in that uncomfortableness and then working through it, it then opened up a whole nother income stream and a new revenue and a different part of your business, which may not have happened if you didn't think, hey, I'm just going to sit in this uncomfortability for a while and see what happens from it.
Oh, 100%. You know that if you are uncomfortable, that is a sign something is wrong. Like, and I'm talking about that's in your personal life, that is in your business life. Like, why would you wake up every single day and do something that is, when I say uncomfortable, I feel like I have to check myself here because technical stuff is still uncomfortable for me, but I have a different energy or relationship with it now because what I do now is I go, thank you, technology. You deliver all my services to the world and you make my life easier. So I've just had to change my relationship with it a bit. But if you're constantly like uncomfortable with some sort of way in your business, definitely look at that because there may be an easier way to do it. I mean, the amount of people that are still manually onboarding their clients, or the amount of people who have e-commerce businesses, but they actually don't have they don't have abandoned carts set up, but they have an e-commerce business and they're running ads without email marketing. The new puppy. With all of that, it's a case of like, there is a better way to do things and we just have to keep an open mind on it. We have to change our language to ourselves, but we have to keep an open mind as well.
Mm-hmm. So if we flip the coin then, what would you say so far has been your biggest achievement?
My biggest achievement was buying a property in Australia. So coming from South Africa, where I owned a property, I had a 7-seater out of the box car, like money wasn't an issue, 2 salaries coming in, all the support from family, friends or whatever, being set up, ready for life, to have nothing, come over here and start again. And then after I'd left my husband, then being a single woman, 3 kids. Can you hear that? Can you hear the puppy?
Yes.
Yes, sorry.
That's okay. It's fine.
That's okay. New puppy, literally mine today. Rescue pup is officially mine. And with all of that, the biggest thing for me was, again, they said, single woman, self-employed, you're not going to be able to get a mortgage. So I worked with a mortgage broker coach. I worked with her for 3 years and she positioned me until eventually she came to me one day and said, there's a special thing that's just come out and you can get across the line right now. And I was able to get across the line and purchase my property as a single self-employed woman.
That's incredible. And I didn't even know mortgage broker coaches existed. So there you go. I learned something new.
100%. So like you can always, there is a way. If it's that important to you, there is a way, find a way. You can do it. And I was able to buy my property, and obviously with COVID, it's now gone up. I bought it for $435, and now it's gone up to 900,000.
Oh, wow.
So that for, a single self-employed mum, that's done amazing things, absolutely amazing things for me. So proudest moment for me, definitely buying my property.
Beautiful. So what motivates you every day to keep getting up and doing what you're doing?
I have always been an educator. At one point when I was transitioning from the gym into, originally it was Facebook coaching. When I was doing that, I had a lot of naysayers, and they said to me, how can you do it? You're a personal trainer. How can you be a marketing coach? Like, what do you know? Like, a lot of naysayers. And I probably for a whole year went like, what? Like, maybe I can't. How can I do this? And someone said to me, you only need to know more than the person in front of you in order to be an expert. And that was really a good thing to say. Like, and I hang on to that right now. So for me, definitely it's around, oh, sorry, what was the question again? Because I've started to.
What motivates you to keep going?
Motivates me. I had to look at something that would glue it all together.
Yeah.
So when they said you can't be a marketing strategist, like a marketing person when you're a personal trainer, I looked at my life and I went, what am I? What is my juice? What is my gift? What is my purpose? And what I worked out is I'm an educator. I'm an inspirator. I did that when I personal trained people. I motivated, I rah-rahed them, I, inspired them. What did I do? What do I do in my marketing? I'm not a traditional marketing agency. I rah-rah people. I motivate them. I inspire them. So every day, like, it motivates me to get up to be able to help and inspire more people.
Beautiful. And that's a beautiful thing to be motivated by. That's like beautiful energy that's just not going to quit, which is amazing.
Yeah, it is absolutely, yeah, it is so good. So I encourage everybody actually to have a look at their, to have a look at their juice, have a look at their glitter, and look at what like your superpower is, because if you live in that superpower, it really makes it easy to get up every day and do it.
And I think that's important too. What is your superpower? Not looking at what, oh, you think other people think or what you expect other people. It's like, what do you feel is your superpower?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I mean, like if you do like some strength personality tests and that, they can be really helpful as well. Because when I looked at that, I went, it makes complete sense that I'm doing what I'm doing right now. It makes complete sense. And even in OBMHub, it's a software company, but our point of difference is that we actually do training, because there's nothing worse than when you set up a new software and you've just got to wing it. You've got to watch a little tutorial. You've got whatever. When you just want to ask someone questions and you just want someone to show you around, or they send you a video. So we're like, you know what? We'll move you across, and then we're actually going to show you how to use the platform so that you're empowered to do it. And I'm like, I wish I'd had that, because I hate tech stuff, you know? So, and now we've taken that across to OBMHub as well, you know?
Yeah, and that is so important because there's lots of ladies who want to just focus on their business. They don't really want to know. And as you mentioned before, there's a lot of e-commerce businesses that don't even have abandoned carts or email marketing because they just put it in the too hard basket and go, oh, but I've just got a business to run. I don't have the time to then go and look at all these back end things. So the fact that you offer that is incredible.
100%. Yeah, we definitely, it's for us, it is so incredibly important. We always look at the foundational things of marketing. At the end of the day, you have to get the basics right. And so many people are gambling on ads. They're experimenting with high level stuff that they're not ready for, simply because they don't have the foundations in place. So for me, it's around the first thing we do is make sure that we got the foundational software in place. And you don't have to use our system. I always tell people, you don't have to use our system. You can use your own system. But you've got to make sure that your system can deliver what you want it to deliver. And a lot of people take shortcuts. Then you've got to make sure the business owner has the skills, or the marketing manager has the skills to deliver or implement the marketing.
Yeah.
And often they don't. And I say to people, if you're not prepared to learn how to do that, then don't have an online business.
There you go. You've heard
Don't have an online business.
Chantal's told you straight off the bat. No sugarcoating. Not prepared to learn. Don't have an online business.
No, and the thing is, it's not going to be horrible forever. I have the best business and the best life right now because I spend about 20 minutes online every day implementing my marketing.
Yeah, that makes sense. No, I like that. And I like that you're just so clear cut about it. Like, if it's not working, don't have a business. I like it.
Yeah.
So, is there any advice that you wish someone had given you when you started business?
Any advice I wish that somebody had given me when I'd started my business? I feel like one of the things that has reared its little head and quite often is mindset. And when I first started out in business, I have a spiritual background. So, I go to church and that's all good. But I think the mindset part of it, it's reared its head throughout my entire journey. And I wish someone had said to me at some point that your mindset's a muscle and that's something you're going to need to exercise, because I've always exercised my body. I've always trained. I've always done fitness. But I wish someone had said earlier, because now it's definitely a part of my practice and has been for many years. But I wish in the earlier stages, I think, I would have got there so much quicker had I actually started some of that stuff.
Beautiful. And if you're prepared to share, do you have like a big, hairy, scary goal for your either OBMHub or online business marketing?
Walking around to try and keep away from the noisy pup. So for me, yeah, look, I'd like 100 people in OBMHub, and we're sitting at about 20 at the moment. And we had to, we got 20, and you think, 20 is not a lot or whatever. But when it's a complete new business, there's so many things that you find along the way that you need to perfect, and you don't want to rush and do anything. You want to get those 20 people right and deliver good customer service. So we want to get it up to 100. I want to be able to do that. With online business marketing, I've already achieved the goal of being a paid international speaker, and that's something I want to do, but it's something I want to do more of. I also launched my podcast, which is the Meaningful Marketing Podcast, which was launched in January this year, and we've had over 400 downloads. So for me, for online business marketing, I want to grow my team. I want to do more. I want to do more of the strategy and the training. I want to be able to go out into people's businesses and do more of the stuff that I absolutely love. Like I'm going to the Philippines next week for 2 weeks, and I'm going to go train virtual assistants and meet business owners and train the VAs, and I just love that. So I want to grow my team, and I want to be able to go out and do more of that stuff.
Beautiful. So being the expert educator, online business marketing, is there a tip, like a little bit of a sneak peek you'd like to share with the listeners?
Make sure that you've set up your foundational stuff. So I'll give you an example. Like people will set up their Facebook profile and they go through like, where it says add an image, add a name, add the description, add whatever. And people go next, 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 or they add 1 word or 2 words or 3 words and they say, I'll come back and do that. I can tell you now that when we audit like Facebook profiles, they've got incorrect email addresses. I'm using Facebook as an example, but incorrect email addresses. We had an email marketing platform where the return email, they couldn't even access the return emails. So everyone who was emailing them for a year weren't getting their emails. We had a Facebook page where they had the call to action button actually went to WhatsApp, and she didn't even have a WhatsApp account.
Oh my goodness.
So she lost out on all these leads for like a year. So my absolute, I implore you that whatever vehicles you have within your business, they are your marketing vehicles. They are your marketing machine. And you and your VAs, and I always say the VAs can, but really the business owner does need to go through it too. Go and check your about section. Go check your call to action buttons. Go and check your foundational setup of everything from your emails. Look at your open rates. If there's something hinky, we worked with the customer, they were having like 5% open rates. As soon as we started, went in and had a look, they had set it up incorrectly, So have a look so that you can make data-driven decisions and go, what's actually happening, what's working, what's not working, what can we do better? But just get the foundations right. Because if the foundations are not right, it's like putting diesel into a petrol car. It's not going to run. So whatever you do, make sure that everything that you've got for your online business, it is the right system, it is the right tool, you know how to run it, and you've checked it. And you keep checking it because it changes all the time.
Yeah.
It changes all the time.
Just that small bit you mentioned, just that profile, just having the correct email, like that's 1 year's worth of leads that those customers probably feel ignored and they're not interested. And it was just from that one thing of just checking the email on your profile.
100%. The other one is telephone numbers. It's absolutely insane. So go and do an audit. For us, we do ours every 6 months. Every 6 months we go in and we check everything because it changes. Like your offer might change, the language you use, your key messages. It needs to be in alignment with your content. So you got to make sure it's still relevant.
Beautiful. So Chantal, where do we stalk you? How do we find you?
So you can have a look at chantalgerardy.com.au or onlinebusinessmarketing.com.au. That goes to the same place. It's all good. Or if you want to have a look at the software, you can have a look at OBMHub. All you've got to do is just DM me, PM me, email me, and I'm happy to give you a coupon code so you can get free setup and training if you're thinking about changing across. And if anybody wants to get access to our weekly blog, our weekly podcast, or download templates, just simply go on to onlinebusinessmarketing.com.au. And if you go to the free downloads section, you'll have access to all of it there.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for joining me and sharing your journey and also all the awesome stuff you're doing in the online marketing space.
It's been an absolute pleasure.